Hey everyone, I am on for the midweek message. What day is today? The 23rd, November 23rd. Got it. It's been a week and it hasn't even been a full week. For those of you that celebrate or are in America, happy Thanksgiving to you. That's coming up tomorrow. Hope that you get to spend some time chilling and eating and hanging out and having a good time with family. Okay, so the energies of late, we are dealing with Sagittarius new moon just dropped today. So expansive energy, this is where we want to plant seeds. These are the things that we want to bring in on a new moon. So what are the things that you want to invite in? You want to invite in fun, travel, experiences, new ideas and learning, expanding the way that you think, and seeing from a macro perspective is very Sagittarian fire energy, okay? And we've moved from a very pensive, focused, pick it apart and look at it from all sides, emotional and kind of transformative Scorpio, water sign energy into this space that we're coming from into Sagittarius season. Also, Jupiter, which has been retrograde since the spring, which started out retrograde in Aries, has done a little bit of a backtrack into Pisces, which is its favored sign, and is now going direct in Pisces. So this is great. This is where good luck kind of comes through. Jupiter is a very jovial planet, and Pisces energy, water sign, emotional, but a little bit wavy, gravy, a little bit out there, is going to bring through this feeling of luck and this feeling of we can kind of take a risk that you can make things happen here if you really want them to, and you have the tools to do so. And Sagittarius season is also going to say you can do this and you can have fun, you can do this and you don't need to have so many rules or constraints around these things, and you can do this and really tap into the higher mind, because Sagittarius rules the highest of the higher mind. So the lower us's and the ego, the higher mind, the higher self is the Sagittarius vibe. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the cards. So if you are group 1, your card is New Chapter. Come on, phone. There we go. Camera. All right, so this is a 24, which is a 6. So 1, we're dealing with some body, mind, spirit balance here. And you've done a good job in the body and the mind part, but we're really looping in the spirituality aspect. And that's what the new chapter is. Also connecting here to this wonderful blue and this kind of purple energy is very much the throat chakra. A lot of this has to do with the ways in which you're talking about yourself and the ways in which that you are allowing yourself to exist as a spiritual being, because you aren't just human. You are a soul having a human experience. So tying that into the physicality of you is the next page, is the next step in the journey that you are on. And this journey allows you to really tap into yourself at essence and to take a look at the ways in which you're communicating with yourself. How can you change your perspective? How can you change your perspective about you? Are you hiding in patterns or in routines that aren't serving you anymore? Are you feeling as if you're a bit complacent and you need to kind of like a shake up? Tapping into your spiritual aspects is going to be the way that you're going to be able to initiate this new chapter and allow that to move forward. It's been kind of like a hairy 3 to 4 months here for you, 1. And there are big changes that are coming through. And the changes, though, you're wanting to see them externally, you're not going to see them externally yet, because you really need to turn inward. So allow yourself some time to really connect. Allow yourself some space to sit and figure out what it is that you want, because you have the ability to use the energy now to make those wishes, to expand your knowledge, to reach out and gather information and research to do the things that you want to do for you. But this is coming from a place not necessarily of go and do, but harvest and find within yourself. How are you speaking to yourself? When things are going well, how do you speak to yourself? When things are not going well, how are you speaking to yourself? What's the voice in the head? Because with Sagittarian energy connecting to the higher mind and the higher self, while you might be having an issue with like your car not working, or there's something's frustrating you or bothering you, how can you zoom out a little bit and allow yourself some perspective and understand that things are happening for you, not to you? That's where the new chapter energy is going to come in. This is where the balance is. I am feeling some tension in the jaw on both sides here for one. So you may be really feeling and holding on to some anger, or even a sense of feeling like, I'm hearing like things aren't fair. It's not fair. Or I'm over this, kind of like wanting things to end. So the new chapter is on the horizon. You just need to allow yourself and relinquish some control around the experiences that you're having, because you're keeping them in your zone. You're keeping them in your field. So if you want things to shift, you need to allow yourself to see that it can. You need to speak to yourself in a way that will say, I am doing this now, or I get to, or this is how it is, instead of saying, speaking in the past tense, or saying that, things like this always happen to me, or I can't get ahead, whatever. Insert ruminating inner monologue here, right? And we all have it. But the shift, the balance here, because you've done a good job with the physical and the mental, the spirituality needs to come into play here. You are a divine being. You are a soul having a human experience. How can you incorporate that a bit more into your everyday? How can you catch yourself in a moment of just the mundane and say, you know what? Like, this is a really cool experience that I'm having with someone else. Or isn't it really awesome to be able to, go outside and take a look at nature and realize that, that tree over there is me. That bird over there is me, and I am it. And I am a part of all of these things. Changing your perspective and utilizing the energy that Sagittarius is bringing through is going to give you that perspective and allow you to kind of break out of this mindset that has you kind of stuck. Okay? All right. Moving on to 2. Group 2, card 2, celebration. Not surprised, we have another 6. So 6s are big. So this has to do, again, with body, mind, spirit balance. What I'm really feeling for 2 is not just a celebration within the self, but a celebration with others. You're really wanting to be a bit more social too, and you're wanting to have more fun, and you haven't really had an opportunity to do so yet, but that's something that's going to be happening within the next week or so. And as we're moving into the holiday season and people are out and doing things and purchasing stuff and, getting prepared and sharing food and all that good stuff, you are in a place where you're not necessarily tied to the details. You're allowing yourself to have more of an experience. And those experiences are going to allow you to make those connections that are necessary for your growth. Because there are aspects of other people that, and I'm actually getting a lot like visually that's happening here. So you might be experiencing, when you're meeting or talking with someone, you might be getting visuals. You might be seeing in the mind. And what I'm saying, like seeing, is more like when you think of something and you can imagine it in your head, that's what you're seeing. Pay attention to those clairvoyant sort of images that are coming through, because you're tapping further into your intuition, and that intuition is necessary for you in your next steps, because you're looking to make shifts and you're looking to make changes. You just don't have the plan down yet, but it's coming. So don't stress. There feels like there's a significant amount of stress. I am getting like lower left hip sort of pain, just like feeling a bit like you're unable to move forward, feeling like you're dragging your feet literally. Understand that you can relinquish control here, that you don't need to hold on so tightly in order to get back what you've put in. You get to celebrate with others, and you also get to celebrate the successes that you have. There's been a shift here, and you're feeling the luckiness. You're feeling I'm getting the word effervescent, imagination, almost like a childlike wonder, which also is coming through with Sagittarius energy and Jupiter. So tap into that a little bit. See where you can be a little bit more creative. How can you create a deeper connection with the self and others in a way that is community-based? So this might have to do with sitting with others in conversation. This might have to do with sitting with family and experiencing what it's like to be part of a unit, of a whole, and yet still be a entity unto yourself. Allow yourself to experience the joys that come from this time, because this time of year is it's going to connect you back to aspects of yourself that you've kind of forgotten about. You're allowed to be excited. You're allowed to be jovial. You're allowed to laugh and play and be all of yourself. Make time for that, because that's the celebration of yourself. And treat yourself to something. Allow yourself to have a little bit of something. And even if you're someone who needs to justify those things, make it to where you have to earn it, right? So if you want to go and take yourself out for coffee or something like that, and it's something that you just don't want to necessarily stop and do because you're so busy throughout the day, are there things that you can get done in order to treat yourself later and be like, look, I got all this stuff done. I'm going to stop and I'm going to get myself coffee, or I'm going to go get some banana bread, or whatever it is that you like, whatever it is that makes you feel like you are giving yourself some attention, because those are the small wins that allow you to gradually move through and grow. And that's the goal here, is for you to move from a place of I am to I can to look, I'm doing this. So allow yourself to experience that. Allow yourself to have fun, because fun is needed. Okay, moving on to 3. Your card is Celestial Teacher, which is a 7. Find it interesting that we're getting 6s and 7s in the linear order. 7s are great. Luck is on your side. This is another connection to intuition and the spiritual path. And it's a way to say that, all is well. You're doing great. You're doing a good job. And not surprisingly, for Sagittarius season, being the teacher, being the sage, being the one that likes to lead, you yourself are the one that are becoming the celestial teacher. There are things that you've learned in your dreams that are coming up 3, that have really allowed you to kind of connect back to dreams that you yourself have had for yourself, maybe as a child. There's a certain sense of curiosity that's coming through here for 3. And that curiosity is something that is wanting to connect to your adult self. Maybe there's a hobby or something that you used to do, or you're being reintroduced to something in a different way. So like, trying to come up with an example here. So all I can think of is video games. So like, maybe you loved playing a certain type of like Nintendo 64, like old school video games, right? And you're thinking about maybe wanting to dabble in some online gaming, and it's something that you haven't done before, or it's something that is of interest to you, but you don't know how to get started. And it piques your interest. Follow that. Follow those nudges that it's going to connect you back to a part of you in a younger age. Very similar to 2. It's similar to celebrating that aspect of self, but you're the one who's going to be teaching yourself. And also, there's a level of trust that needs to happen here. You have more knowledge, and you have more experience, and you have more aptitude for the things that you want to do in your life and the things that you're looking towards. And this could also be in career. Then you're giving yourself credit for. Give yourself that space and know that you have the skills necessary to do whatever it is that you want. Nothing can pass you by that's meant for you. Everything that you need and wants you and is part of you. Very similar to the Wizard of Oz type stuff, where Dorothy wanted to go home. She could have done it the whole time. She just needed to click her heels. She just didn't know. So this is a message for you 3 to connect in a bit more with your guides, your inner guidance, and your spirit team. Ask them for assistance. My camera is like not having it. I'm really drawn to not only the ancestral sort of beautiful older woman's face here of the crone, but the light that is emanating out from the top of her crown that looks very much like a butterfly. And you've gone through a period here, 3, that's the chrysalis stage. Things have been difficult, similar to 1 and 2, and it's similar to life as a human right now. But just know that you got this. You're going to be just fine. Give yourself some space around the ways in which you need to rest. I do feel there's a lot of pressure in the chest that's kind of radiating out through the back. It's okay to take time for yourself. You're not being selfish. You're giving yourself space. And you can't go ahead and take care of anyone else until you have your cup filled. Allow yourself to dream a little bit. Allow yourself to lean back onto the skills that you know you have and possess. See where that leads you, because it's going to open doors for you within the next 3 to 6 months. Use the energy now to teach yourself. Use the energy now to support yourself, and give yourself the space needed to recoup, because there's been a lot of growth. Everyone here in all the cards has balancing that has happened. And this balance is natural. This balance is wanted. And the motivation needed in order for you to get to the next phases is going to be required for you to have that rest in order for you to move forward. Okay, so those are the messages this week. Would love to hear how that resonates with you. Please leave me some feedback. If you're interested in working with me with a private reading, please check my link. And I hope everyone has a fantastic holiday weekend. Hopefully you guys get some time off, and know that I'm thinking about you. All right, peace. Have a good one.